I mean, I often think, I'm like, do I have a child out there that I don't know about that I should be supporting?
You are a gambler.
I am a gambler. My greatest fear, somebody knocks on my door one day and just says, I'm yours. And I'm like, what? I didn't even know.
Yeah, so I didn't realize that this is learning a lot. You can't. This story is gross. I'm just gonna, I don't even feel weird about kink shaming. This is a gross story. Okay.
Yes.
From mirror.co. And I hope it's fake, honestly. I hope it's fake and that some weird, like, just British journalist decided to write some crazy shit, which is very possible. But a bride was alarmed after discovering that her groom was being breastfed by his mother before the wedding.
So a professional makeup artist has spoken out about her alarm after the bride and groom walked in on the groom being breastfed by his own mother. Wedding makeup artists have seen it all.
Yeah.
Tantrums, last minute stuff, bridesmaids falling out, like, mother-in-law popping a titty. Like, they've seen it all.
The makeup artist here is a real one because she was the one who was like to the bride, I walked in on this. Do you know this is a thing? She didn't have to do that. She could have kept that to herself. But I feel like that was the move, because even if, the bride does know, that's her thing. But okay. I don't want to get like too into the details of this, because like I find this story to be pretty disturbing and like borderline, too much for the Trashy Trashy podcast. I just want to take this time to point out, and I think I've said this before, grown men who drink breast milk, I find to be really weird. And a lot of people do it for muscle building, or they say that it's cured their cancers. A lot of men call it mother's milk, which makes me want to crawl out of my skin. But it's, for some reason, I don't know why, but somehow about 587 times worse when it's your own mom. I don't know why.
Yes. It gives me Mad Max Fury Road, at the beginning when they have all those like mothers hooked up to just like milking pumps.
Yeah.
When someone says mother's milk, I just think of a room full of women being like pumped like cows.
Yeah. I watched this like documentary. I can't remember what I was watching, but it was something. Oh, it was like one of those Netflix documentaries, and like one episode's on like honey, and the other episode is on like grown men drinking breast milk.
How do we get here?
Yeah. But it like also like the entrepreneurial spirit of the women who are selling their breast milk. But yeah, there was one guy who was like, my cancer was cured by mother's milk. And I'm like, get this man off my television.
I mean, I hate to say it, but like, we weren't all meant to live that long.
Maybe. I'll tell you what, that mom was not meant to produce breast milk for that long. How long do you have to date someone before you get married? I guess is a question that each couple must decide on their own. But like, certainly long enough to figure out whether or not, that's happening.
Well, do you ask on the first date, the third date, before you move in together, the day of your wedding? Like, when do you ask the question, hey, you don't still suckle from your mother's teat, do you? Just asking. Okay.
I think it would just be like something that might come up, like if you notice that they're like, wow, like this is like an Everybody Loves Raymond situation. Like you are at your parents' house like every day. Like,
I noticed when we went out to dinner after the meal, you said, me hungry. And then you and your mother both left for the washrooms.
Yeah, it was crazy. We had these dinner plans all day, and then you were like, came home from your parents, and you were just like, I'm really full. Can we like cancel dinner?
And you kept burping. I had to burp you. It was very strange.
This is such a gross story.
So
okay, let's
go ahead.
I want to hear your transition.
I needed a babysitter that night. Like it was bad.
Well, I would try to get you a babysitter, babe, but childcare is very expensive.
And that's what our next story from the dailymail.co.uk brings us.
So this is a Daily Mail, which is a trashy trash UK publication, but it's actually about a woman in the US.
Yes, so she
Mind your business, UK.
So they say that, mind the business.
Mind your business, UK.
This mum is being criticized for her unrealistic demands she puts on a prospective babysitter for $6 an hour. So she advertised it with her criteria. Babysitter needed ASAP. I need someone to watch my 4 kids, aged 2, 3, 5, and 7, from noon to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, occasional weekends. Yeah.
That's a lot of kids.
That's a lot of kids.
That sounds like a personal problem.
Are 2 and 3 potty trained? Great questions. You know what I mean? Like, that's... So, here's the requirements. Must be a great cook and avid cleaner.
Check.
Over 25 years old.
Just barely.
Minimum education, master's degree.
Oh, you lost me.
No social media accounts. In parentheses, I don't need my kids seeing that.
I'm working on it.
No drinking, no smoking, and not even vaping.
Ooh, yeah. Sorry.
I know you love your jewels. No tattoos or piercings.
I'm out.
Need 5 professional references.
Oh, I'm very much out.
Background check and drug test will be conducted. Now,
That's fair.
this is a pretty stellar list, but like, what would you say a job like this should pay?
Well, I mean, if you're talking about getting someone who has a master's degree, you have to be able to, because that's really, I would say, the no social media accounts thing is a little bit harsh, but otherwise, a lot of these other things feel fair, other than the master's degree. But let's see, if you have a master's degree, that means you've been in college for about at least 6 years and probably about $100,000 in debt. I would imagine that you'd have to be, well, actually, let me look this up. Average earnings for master's degree. Okay, so average earnings for a master's degree from salary.com is $96,000 to $130,000 a year.
Okay, so this job's paying $200 a week.
200 times 52 weeks in a year. Okay, so the salary for that is $10,400. You could make more money on unemployment.
Yep. Oh, also, you must have your own transportation to get to and from while also running all my errands. Please call Tammy if interested. Babe, that comes out to $6 an hour.
And not just for one kid. Like,
Yeah.
because my understanding, and you probably would know better because you have been employed this way before. Not a dig. I think it's incredible, people who work as nannies. And you charge typically per kid. You have to.
Yeah, I have a flat fee and then like additional children comes on. Yeah.
So 4 kids, $6 an hour. I have news for you, Tammy. You can't afford childcare.
Yeah.
Sorry, babe. It's hard. It's hard out here in the United States. But like, you can't afford it.
Nope.
If you can only offer $200 a week, you can't afford it. And I'm sorry.
Yeah. Put those kids to work.
I mean, having 4 kids, man, to each their own, you know? But just like having animals, I do believe that it's a responsibility. Speaking of animals, but like returning every single bit of clothing I buy from them because it either fits weird or it's like impractical or something. I bought a pair of mom jeans. I talked about it on this podcast where I was like, fuck this trend. I look like a plumber. Like, this is not, no offense to plumbers. I look like a male plumber that I don't want to look like. You feel me? But, you know, I kept going back for the abuse. So here we are. Maybe I should just go back to drinking wine. Erica. Yeah, like there would be just certain girls that would have like gigantic teddy bears and balloons and all, because we didn't have what you're talking about. We couldn't send anything to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you know, if you had an adoring high school boyfriend or like a crush, like, or something, and they could bring whatever the fuck they wanted to gift you at school. And so you'd see some of these girls like the fucking Old Man and Up with like tons of balloons. And then there would just be either like the single people who would like, you know, at least be able to shrug it off and be like, whatever. But there would be also like this other breed of people who had boyfriends, you know, or girlfriends or whatever. And they couldn't, and they didn't have anything to show for it. And you could just be like, yeah, Valentine's Day is stupid. We don't really do that. It's like, you're 16. Of course you fucking do that.
Right.
You know how I would react if I had that much Valentine's Day stuff in my house on Valentine's Day now as an adult? I'd be like, are you fucking cheating on me?
Right. I'd be like, why are we doing this? Yeah.
Yeah. What did you do wrong?
Yeah. Show me where the poop is so I can rub your nose in it. Like,
yeah. Like, why did you waste all of our money on this?
I thought we were going to go eat somewhere or eat something nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we're saving for a house. This had to have cost you $170. And it's all going in the trash.
Yeah.
Soon.
Incredible. Yeah, it just is a haves and the haves nots. I think we should really do away with it, but what are you gonna do? All right, speaking of babies, let's get into our next story from yourtango.com.
Sorry to anyone who has any of the names that I just listed. You know, it's a goof. Get over it. I guess that's a bad apology, huh? Sorry, get over it.
Sorry, we didn't make the population 8 billion. You did, you know. So
Nick Cannon did.
You and Nick Cannon.
Woo! All right. Yes, speaking of babies, Nick Cannon, I don't know, pregnant ladies.
Pregnant mom who was invited to her own baby shower wonders if she's wrong for being upset.
This is from the subreddit. Your Tango, yes, as Erica said, but also taken from the subreddit of the Am I the Asshole, which we love. We love that Reddit.
Love a YTA. Love just claiming first sentence, you're the asshole. And then they go, no, let me explain. I'm also a Nazi who doesn't believe in global warming. And it's like, no, yeah, you're still the asshole. But they're like, but they didn't bring a hostess gift. And you're like, well, maybe they're the asshole.
Okay, so this is from a woman, says, my boyfriend and I have been living together for 4 years. Starting over. My boyfriend and I have been together for 4 years. We lived separately. He was 30 and lived with his parents. I was 31 and lived with my 6-year-old. We had a baby on September 14th. Baby shower was scheduled sometime in August, and her boyfriend's aunt told the woman that the shower was only for him, his male relatives, and male friends. However, she realized that her boyfriend's aunt lied because the boyfriend's mother, female cousin, and aunt also attended as well.
She said I wasn't allowed to come. If it were a men-only baby shower, why were there women there? She questioned.
So she was like, wow, weird vibe to not be invited to a baby shower for a baby that I'm literally carrying right now.
Yeah. So she's like, I feel like as if he should have stood up for me. He didn't show up to many of the baby appointments except for 2 of them.
Because he hadn't defended her when it came to this baby shower. Like he was just basically like, I'm not throwing it. It's not my control.
Yeah. So the one appointment he showed up to was when they found out the gender. It was her birthday, and he had to leave shortly after because he's spending the day with his mom. Ooh.
Well, you might be the asshole simply for being with a guy like this for 4 years.
Yeah. So basically, the woman said the boyfriend told her that his aunt was throwing the baby shower without inviting. Hadn't been done out of spite, and then it was supposed to be the guys only, but then people showed up, the family, but didn't defend him to his mother. So it's like, sounds like you may be marrying this man's mother as well, and that's probably not going to work out.
There was also a 3-hour glucose test that he attended. That was another appointment, but he was on the phone the entire time talking to his mom. This is a lot of red flags, lady.
Lining up the flags. Yeah, I say not the asshole for being upset, and you should probably work out a nice co-parenting situation with his mother, because that's who you're going to be co-parenting with.
Oh, what a nightmare.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
have an update, a trashy update.